So I've got something fun for you today. It's not an Android head unit, so it's a little bit different, but it is made by Xtrons. So Xtrons have this rear seat entertainment system. I don't have kids and I rarely have people in the back that need to be entertained, but this is interesting to me for two main reasons. The first is that it's made by Xtrons, and if it's made by Xtrons, there's some possibilities here. Like, for example, they have their Android head units, and all of their Android head units have the ability to have external screens connected. So I wonder if this actually has some functionality of interacting with their head units. That will be really, really interesting to see. And obviously I want to see why we would spend this money on this instead of a tablet for the kids to watch in the back. So those are the sorts of things that I'm going to be thinking about as I'm looking at this. And the second reason why I think it's really interesting is, look at this packaging. Like, it's some of the nicest packaging that I've seen on products. So yeah, let's have a look at it and see what's going on. So here it is, and yeah, it's essentially a tablet, but this is designed specifically for in-car use. And what I mean by that is there is no battery in this tablet, but this doesn't need a battery because obviously the point of it is that it stays in your car, and when you turn the ignition on your car, it will power this tablet so your kids can watch whatever you have installed on it. Now, on the right hand side here, you have a USB entry point, so that'll be for any music or whatever that you have on a USB stick, and you can just plug in and keep the kids happy. It has a headphone jack for wired headphones. It has AV too, so you can have analog video input. It doesn't come with the AV cable, so which is interesting. So I wonder if Xtrons have some sort of wireless connection to the head unit instead. We'll see later. Reset button here, and a MicroSD card slot here. And that's pretty much it, apart from the power cable here, which will go to the cigarette lighter. So this big block on the back of it is actually for the bracket which holds it onto the headrest of the seat, so that you can actually mount it in the car itself, and all of that stuff actually came with the unit as well. And as you can see, this can actually slide up and down the entirety of this device so that you can get the perfect height. And there is a second use of this, is it actually can act as a stand as well. So if you wanted to have it standing up on a desk or something for whatever reason, that is possible as well. Other than that, there's not really a great deal to say about it, aside from the fact that it has a power button up here, a light sensor here, which I imagine will keep the right brightness based on the lighting of the environment. And on the underneath, it looks like it has a strip of LEDs. So it will be interesting to see what they do. Right, I'm not going to power it up here in the studio. I'm going to go and do it in the Saab. So we're going to see how easy it is to actually attach it to the headrest and connect up, and then we'll have a play with it in the car. So let's go and do that now. Okay, so on the screen there are these sort of holes in the side of the mounting bracket, and inside the box we have these kind of U-shaped metal brackets which fit in there. Also in the box we have these kind of plastic round things, and these are what are going to go around the poles on the headrests. So we just need to find one which has the right diameter hole for the headrest. So what we do is we grab the plastic bit, unhook it and put it around the headrest like so, and then just to hold it in place, stick the metal in the slots, but not all the way, just sort of that much. And then we grab the other one and do the same. And then on the actual device itself, if we bend back this plastic piece here, you'll see that there is a lock and unlock button, and we can just unlock this part. And then this part should just go in between these. It should go in between these. Right, so this thing is supposed to be sort of go in between these two things so that these metal rods can go into these holes on both sides, but it doesn't fit in the position that it's meant to live. In the manual here, it shows that that block goes in between these two connectors, but there's a pretty severe design flaw here that well, in this car it doesn't fit, even though they've given us the bits that actually go around the poles of the headrest. the actual block itself does not fit in between, and therefore, so this doesn't work. So this is completely incompatible with Saab. So that is a major problem. So this creates a slight problem on how I'm meant to test this in the car now. Yeah. Right, all I'm going to do is I've tied some speaker wire around the back of this because it's the only thing that I actually have to hand, and I'm going to chuck it through here. I'm going to basically tie it to the headrest of the Saab, and we're going to do it that way, I think. That's pretty much the only thing that I can really do, and it's only for display purposes, just to show you guys what this thing can do whilst it's in the car, because that was the point of this. At least the next bit's easy. We've got the power cable and the cigarette lighter, so it's a simple matter of plugging the cigarette lighter into the extension lead here, plugging one side into the cigarette lighter and the other side into the screen. Okay, let's turn the ignition on and get some power. I don't know why I'm expecting something to happen. I haven't switched it on yet. Okay, let's switch it on. Okay, we've got an Xtrons logo come up. I can see that there is a string of blue LEDs on the underneath of this as well, which I'll show you, which makes it probably look pretty nice at night. Oh look, it says please fasten your seatbelt for your driving safety. It says here Android 10, 8-core, 64-bit, Cortex A53 processor. Okay, let's have a look. There's quite a bit of lag with the animation on this, but we don't need that anyway. Let's see how it interacts with the actual main head unit, if it does. Okay, so in the settings it's giving us the very basic Android settings. Let's see if there's something. So you've got automatic backlight control, that's probably that sensor there. Connected devices Bluetooth, so it does give you the ability to have Bluetooth like headphones or whatever. Well, I don't really see anything to do with anything on here. There's no back button. How am I supposed to get out of this menu? Oh, there we go. So if we pull down from the top, it gives us this here, and then, oh no, that's disappeared. This is already very annoying. All right, so there's a button down here which looks like a radio, but it isn't a radio. What it actually is an FM modulator, and it can broadcast on the FM frequency, which means that I can listen to sound from this device on the car radio. Now that is actually a very good feature. So if I put FM on, okay, I have no idea what M and S for the sound channel is. Oh, mono and stereo. All right, so we'll say stereo like that. Okay, so we are connected to the radio now, which is good. So there's no integration with this device to the head unit, except for an FM transmitter, which allows you to have the audio coming from this unit to the actual head unit itself. That is massively disappointing. Let's look at what it was meant for. So I'm going to get a USB stick with some movies on. So we have a stick here, which I've just put a movie on. So I'm going to chuck it in the side. Okay. I'm going to hit movie. Doctor Strange. Let's have a look. Okay, so it does work fine from a movie perspective. It's reading the file perfectly fine. It does look good on the screen, and the sound is coming through the car speakers in stereo as well. So this is giving it quite a good experience because it's coming through the speakers of the actual car. And the fact that that connection between the head unit and this device is wireless for sound is a really, really nice touch. So I do like that, and it does play movies really, really well. Right, if we have a look at the music, go to music, press play here. So you can listen to your music quite easily, and it comes out of the car stereo with all control coming from the rear. Again, that's a really nice feature, and it's really basic having that FM transmitter, but it's a really, really nice touch for the car, because it means that the kids can listen to their music, they can watch their films without impacting the driver, but the sound will actually come out of the car speakers. So that's quite cool. Okay, let's have a look at gallery. Allow gallery to record. Oh, allow gallery to record audio. Why would the gallery need to record audio? No. Allow gallery to take pictures and record video. I mean, there's no camera on this, and there wasn't. yeah, did I allow gallery to access the devices? No, you don't need any of that stuff. And there's a permission error, so I actually have to allow all of this stuff. So look, allow gallery to record audio. As far as I'm aware, there's no microphone on this anyway. Allow gallery to take pictures and record video. No camera, okay. Allow gallery to access this device's location. I don't particularly want to allow that, but I'm going to anyway. Okay, now we can view pictures. Okay, so it's just a gallery. You can have a look at some nice pictures on here, and yeah, so that's nice and simple. So yeah, so that's a nice touch, I guess, if you've got some pictures that you want your kids to see on the back seats. Yeah, that's pretty cool as well. And actually, these pictures actually do show the definition of the screen. It is a 1080p screen, and that is coming out quite a bit looking at these images. Now, everything I've shown you up until this point is pretty archaic technology. So I'm talking about accessing movie files from a USB stick and MP3 files from a USB stick. That's kind of old school. Most people stream stuff nowadays, and certainly if you had a tablet, that is what you would be doing. Now, there's plenty of people that will have a repository or a hard drive full of movie files that they can just chuck on a USB stick for their kids to watch in the back. So it's cool for those reasons. But most people these days just don't have the time or energy to be looking for movie files online to download to then put onto your USB stick. The majority of people just use Netflix or Spotify for music and movies. And Netflix even allows you to have offline movies, which means you can find a movie on Netflix and download it to the device that you're on and then have it for offline use. So how does that work on this device? Well, it is an Android tablet, so you do actually have the functionality of installing things. But because it is an unknown Chinese thing, you have the same issue on this unit that you would have on Android head units, and that is that you can't download Netflix onto it unless you sideload it, and it has to be an old version as well. Now, I've done that so that I can actually test it out, so I'm going to show you that now. So we go to Apps, and here's Netflix. So here we have Netflix, and as you can see, you can access all of the good stuff, and just select something here. Yeah, so after you've taken the effort to sideload the old version of Netflix onto this, it does actually work. And let's just see if we can actually download things using this as well. Yes, you can. So you can actually download these Netflix shows onto this tablet, and that means that you don't have to be online. You can just drive along, not worrying about whether or not you've got a signal or not. So yeah, it does actually function from that perspective. And if you're wondering how fast it is as an actual tablet, I have installed CPU-Z, so you can have a look at the specifications. So you can see it's the ARM architecture Rockchip RK3368, then that's a 1.2 gigahertz 8-core CPU. But it's pretty slow, and it has 2 gigabytes of memory on this unit as well. I mean, that's enough really, isn't it? What's this designed for? It's for your kids to watch movies in the back of the car, and it does exactly what it's meant to do. I mean, you can't really compare it with a tablet because it does have the FM transmitter, which does make it really good for a car, and it doesn't have a lithium battery, so you've got that safety aspect for permanent in-car use. But see, I just can't see how you would justify spending $200+ on this, which has lots of limitations, when you could spend the same amount of money on a tablet and have a faster CPU, faster processor. It can still do all the same things as this, with the exception of being able to plug a USB stick in, but you can plug the actual tablet into your computer and move the files directly over to it if you wanted to. Xtrons, I've got loads of comments to make on this. I'm actually really disappointed. It could have been so good. I mean, the way that you've designed the outer casing of it is cool, and the blue LEDs underneath, they're cool as well. I hate the user interface. It's slow, and the functionality of the buttons disappear when you want to use them. Now, you may have done that so that the kids can't access settings and things, but then if that was the point, then why didn't you just put them behind a password wall so that they couldn't access them? And why haven't you done some sort of integration with your Xtrons head units? That would have been amazing. Maybe people already have Xtrons head units and they already have movies or whatever on their actual Xtrons head unit, and they want to pop it down to a rear screen. I know that you've got AV inputs on this, but you never gave us any wires so that we could actually connect it to the Xtrons unit with a bunch of wires. But then why do we even need wires anyway? Why did you not integrate some kind of software that allows wireless transmission of the analog signal, or even a digital signal, which would be even better, from your Xtrons head unit to this device? That would have been amazing. The FM transmitter's cool, but you know, it's a real cheap component, and it could have been so much more. And it is pretty unforgivable that it can't actually be mounted in my car properly. This is just simply too wide, and that is a design flaw that you guys are going to need to rectify as well. Now, everyone else, Xtrons is genuinely a very good brand, as you probably know. It's one of the biggest brands of Android head units, and they do make quality stuff. But for me, this product is kind of, I don't know, unfinished. And for that money, I'd probably just buy a tablet and buy one of those things that you hook over the headrest to hold the tablet in the car for your kids to watch, because this just feels unfinished to me. I'm sorry, Xtrons, I normally like your stuff, I do, but this is just not. I can't recommend it. It's just not. It's not a good device. And there you go. I will let you guys decide whether or not you think that this is worth the money. Obviously, if you are going to put all your movies and music onto one of these things and plug it in, it will do everything that you want it to do, and it will all come out of your car speakers, and that is cool. That is a cool feature. But is it enough for the 200 plus that you're going to be paying for it? Well, I'll leave that up to you. If you've got any questions about this device, or if I didn't touch on anything, please do use the comments section below to ask, and I will answer if I can. And obviously, if you like these kinds of videos on in-car technology, hit that subscribe button, because I have a lot more stuff coming up in the future.